Welcome to Power Play Podcast, a show that will bring you issues to do with politics and leaderships in 254, that is Kenya, East Africa, and Africa at large, where we welcome you to bring your questions and interact with us, our beloved viewer, and tell us what you like to know more about, who and where and when, what has happened and what is going to happen. We're here to make everything clear for you as you continue to follow us. Make sure you subscribe, follow us. And today we are joined by someone who works within our community, with an NGO, and she's very passionate with leadership. For names, she will introduce herself as we continue. Karibu sana.
Thank you. I'm Appey Apondo. As you have rightly introduced me, I'm very passionate about leadership issues, and especially with the changing political landscape right now in Kenya. I believe there are very many issues that need to be addressed, and I believe that is why I'm here.
Of course, that's why you're here. Hiyo ndio imefanya umekuja hapa leo, tuulizane maswali mawili matatu tuone kutakuaje. Tuanze haraka tu, hatuta waste muda sana because ni vitu zinafanyika sahi. There is a probability of transition for politics and in both major political parties in this country. What do you think? What's your view on this? I don't want you to mention names the same way anaenda kuchukua and all that. I just want to give you your views on the same.
But we must mention names because now atachukua. It is them who will take over. But of course, if you look even at the present composition of leaders we have, of course, coming from the 2022 elections, we have seen an emergence of very many young leaders being elected into office, right from the MCA position up to the gubernatorial. So, of course, we can correctly say we see young leaders taking over. But, of course, when it comes to party leadership, it is still, of course, the old guard. And rightly to say, I think the only party you're targeting, that you don't mention, is ODM. The exit of Enigma himself, Obama.
Of course.
I believe that is what you're targeting.
You're right.
Yes.
So Baba anaenda. What next for audio?
Baba alisema anaweza ama anaenda. I don't know. You know, it's one thing for him to say Baba anaenda. But are we seeing really the exit of Baba? Yes, because once he clinches the exit position, it means there's a vacuum that will be left out. Of course, we saw former Mombasa governor starting his campaign very early, saying that he wants to win the populace who are party members to see him as a potential party leader. There's still also the issue of Oparanya.
Na squeeze azungumzi.
Anajipanga. We don't know. We could assume.
Jikoni kitu inapikwa.
Exactly. But I think when it comes to taking over the party from him, it's I think it's either those two, because within ODM we are yet to see anyone else. And also being that those two are also the deputy party leaders.
Kuna kijana kwa hapa Babu Wino amekuja sana na anasema itakuwa ni yeye, na naona karibu kila kijana kila mahali anasema tunataka Babu.
I think for Babu, I'm not seeing him wanting to inherit ODM. Babu wants to take over Luo kingship politics. Babu, his view is beyond the ODM as a party. For Babu nikiona Babu wants to win one, supporters wa Babu, you see. So for Babu, it's if I can manage to get supporters from Honorable Dick, then now it remains that if I get his supporters, it does not matter what ship I am in. Even if he decides tomorrow he's going to form his own political party or join another party. What matters most is, do I have the numbers? Because today, of course, as you rightly say, we've seen him going around, managing to hold campaigns. Okay, I don't say campaigns, let me say unplanned rallies.
Popularity rallies.
Yes,
yeah.
You know, because he's, yes, exactly, popularity rallies, because he's going around the country.
Amekuwa coast region.
Yes, which the response was so good, I was actually surprised. And again, as I'm saying, it's because, again, you look at what comprises what was Azimio. That was different political parties
coming together.
As of course we have said. Who are the majority? They are the party leaders, the old guard, you see. So for Babu, akiangalia hapa in ODM, I mean, the question has been, it's like they're not even ODM as a party, it's not giving room for more people to want to contest. you're given the question of it's either or. It's either Paranya or Joe.
Kuna kijana mwingine hapa pia Sifuna pia naye ni kama ananusia
Sifuna I don't see.
Though amenyamaza hajasema kitu. But kuna wale wengine na huyu Sifuna huenda kuna kitu inapikwa ametulia tu, lakini itafanyika kitu baadaye. Wanangojea surprise kutoka kwa baba after party AU chairmanship.
Well, for now, I don't see. Also, we also have to keep in mind the fact that being a party leader requires, number one, support. You know, you can be a party leader, but if you don't have the support of the people on your team. Look at what happened in Fort Kenya with the Tambula. When his own soldiers were not very happy with him. You recall what Wafula Wamunyinyi and Simiyu Eseli did. They tried to oust him out of the position of party leadership. Why? Because they didn't have confidence in him. And you remember at the registrar, it was a push and pull. Someone is running to court saying the party leadership, Wafula Wamunyinyi has taken over. Then again, it is handed back to somebody else. So I think Babu is avoiding a case of a tug of war between him and the incumbent deputy party leaders. So for me, Babu, I don't think Babu is going for party leadership. Babu is going for
Luo kingship.
Luo kingship, inheriting from Baba himself.
And you think he will?
Anything is possible under the sun. Yeah. I mean, look at Baba himself. When the late Mzee Jaramogi was exiting from
I'm sorry for another thing.
And you look at the very tactic which he used. In fact, Babu is reading from the script that was written by Baba himself. So if anything Babu is doing, endearing himself to the masses, going against the grain, because you look at him right now, he's not working with anyone else. It's a one man army. This topic, I mean, look at Babu. The way you're saying it is endearing himself. And you see more and more people coming and saying, we are seeing something in this young man. And we believe in who he is. When you're talking about Luo kingship politics, when the late Jaramogi rested, nobody would have imagined that his son would take over. Because, I mean, his senior brother, Uburu, was there. There were other people, you know, there was Olo Aringo and the other popular Luo leaders at the time. But you remember, he even went to an extent of leaving for Kenya to go and form his own. But people thought he was going to fight for Ford. And it's what is happening with Babu. I don't see Babu fighting for ODM. I see Babu going to form his own party. But first, he wants to endear himself to the party.
So the bigger vision of Babu is to...
it's a Luo kingship.
Luo kingship and then do his own party.
And not just Luo kingship, but nationally. Because remember, Babu is not an MP in Luo Nyanza. He's an MP in Nairobi. And also the very voters and the supporters he wants to inherit from Baba. Of course, backbone being Luo Nyanza for Baba. But Baba again has never been an MP. That's what I'm telling you. The very script Babu is reading is what Baba has done. Baba has never been an MP in Luo Nyanza, but his voter-rich backbone is where? Luo Nyanza. Baba was an MP in Langata, you understand?
Yes,
Babu is
Babu
is an MP in Embakasi East. And you see now, one thing you would say their party, as ODM enjoys, is the populace, almost in every region within this country. You would say they are new, they are safe over the presentation. And for me, that is what Babu is looking at. He's not looking at inheritance of the party leadership. Babu is looking at it nationally because at one point, if I recall, he has mentioned he also has presidential ambition.
That is in 2027.
I don't know. That is for Babu to tell us. That is for him to say. I don't speak for Babu.
So Babu is literally a young person with a big ambition. And he's trying to hide all those things from other people not to really understand his next move. Yeah. So it might be a surprise move that Babu is on the ballot in 2027.
At 2027, I think people are pushing him gubernatorial. Yeah.
For Nairobi to oust
the incumbent governor. 2027, everyone is pushing him. In fact, you can see, and I think that is why, again, I'm telling you, he is not chasing party leadership because within ODM, I think Baba Raila has made it very clear from his utterances before that their preferred candidate would be Tim Onyonyi. So then where does that leave Babu? And I mean, like any other politician, he has his political ambitions. So 2027, I think gubernatorial Nairobi is what he'll be going for.
Do you think he'll get it?
By a long shot, let's see who will be the players.
We are still within the
so let's see who will be the players. I mean, ODM might as well just decide, we are giving it to you. Tim Wanyonyi might decide to tell him, come here, you're my younger brother. I'll support you, you see. And maybe Sifuna might decide, I'm also fit enough. But you see, so far, of course, judging by what Sifuna has said before, his content being a Nairobi senator, I think for them it's to capture the seat, to come back to the party. So we wouldn't know under what ship he'll be going for. But 2027, I see him going for gubernatorial Nairobi. Yeah.
So no potential ambitions in 2027. Maybe we talk about 2032.
We live to see. Let Babu say. We pray we will all be alive.
Those who follow him will follow him. No,
any leader, of course, has to have the support. Any leader, of course, has to have the backbone. But I mean, politics keeps shifting day and night. You look at what happened getting into 2013. That was a coalition government going into 2013. You wouldn't have imagined that the president now, William Ruto, would have left ODM, would have joined, come with his outfit, URP, join with Jubilee, and form government. So again, when it comes to politics, anything is possible. You never write it out. There's no permanent threat and no permanent enmity. Anything is possible.
And anyone will go whatever.
As long as you have ambitions, and I know Babu is very ambitious. That's the one thing you have to give us to. He is very ambitious.
Now talking about the current leadership of Nairobi County, and then looking into 2027, because that is where everybody is focused on. The way they are talking, the way they are strategizing everything, everybody's looking at 2027. But are they really fulfilling on what they should be fulfilling now that will help them to get to 2027? Talking about Nairobi County.
Are they fulfilling what will help them to get to 2027? One, I believe the incumbent in UDA, being Governor Sakaja, is having challenges from within his own party members, his own leadership. Of course, Nairobi is in a mess. It goes without saying. We can't apologize for that. Nairobi is in a mess. Nairobi is dirty, it's filthy, services are not working. Nairobi, we can even say, under Sonko, at least we smelt a breath of fresh air compared to what we are witnessing now, yeah? It's very crazy. There's a very low investor confidence. We are also seeing businesses shutting, increase in harassment and levies which we can't account for. So that alone has already taken the vote of confidence of Nairobians from their current leader, But in terms of leadership within UDA, if I recall a while back, I saw former Governor Kidero reacting to what is happening in Nairobi. And of course, we know Kidero since left ODM and joined UDA. In my thinking, I'm thinking 2027 UDA may want to frontier Kidero and not Sakaja. Because one, Kidero has been governor before in Nairobi. So he's very familiar, the people know him. He didn't perform 100%, but at least we can say it wasn't as bad
as it is
it is right now, exactly. Secondly, there's that corporate image Kidero cuts compared to what Sakaja has done. You see, this current leadership in Europe, it is riddled by so much. If it's not graft, if it's not fraud, there's infighting, the MCAs are not listening to him. So there's a lot of challenge, but I believe within UDA, I don't see UDA as a party frontiering Sakaja. I think UDA is going to frontier Kidero, because Kidero, I think, knows very well. I don't see him going back to Roma Bay to try house Kawanga. So for him,
because he can't really
he's come back. Yeah, so he's come back. For him as a politician, it has to be Nairobi. So I'm thinking for anyone who's thinking we want to get to Nairobi, it is Kidero for UDA. I don't see anyone else, because again, I don't see Margaret Wajiru being frontier. UDA has one candidate in mind. For me to be Kidero.
So Kidero. And do you see any other party fronting, apart from UDA and ODM, any other party that can front
Of course, any other party can front. Kenya has 90 political parties. These 90 political parties have every right to be able to present a candidate for the gubernatorial position.
Traditionally, it's always the big parties that always front and that always win. But do you think we can have a change in this?
We can always have a change. Why not? Let me give you an example of Meru. The incumbent governor is an independent candidate, Kawira Mwangaza. You're looking at a region number one that had Azimio and had UDA. And there was still Mbas. And you please remember, this is Kiraitu Murungi being the incumbent governor. You had Peter Munya being frontier. And yet a lady out of nowhere, in a very male-dominated society, and as an independent candidate, emerging as a winner to be the governor of Meru County.
I know that makes you happy.
Of course, I'm very happy.
A woman.
No, it's just not about saying a woman, but it's about dynamics of leadership. You cannot be able to move forward as a society. I recall what former President Obama said when he was in his visit in Kenya to Kasarani. He said, there's no way you can play as a team when half of the players are being benched. Half of the players in this country are women. So there's no way we can make strides in terms of leadership and development if those women are left out in this particular position. And again, I recall, men encourage women, please go and present yourself as candidates. Kawira Mwangaza did as an independent. And she won. So anything is possible in Nairobi. We might bring the big parties, but I believe people want to change. People want change.
I think we should, at a given point, we really dwell, just have an episode on the women leadership within the country, on those top seats and all that, gubernatorial seats, and those aspiring to be presidents and all that. Then reacting, maybe your views on what's happening on the ruling party currently, because it's all over on social media. You know, there is a lot, like, things are just happening and people don't really understand what's happening. You know, this time, Shaka says this, the other time people are saying this, and there's always a pulling off, a pulling off, a pulling off. Now there's this narrative of one man, one vote, one shilling to a specific, a specific people. What about these other people with God's majority within those places and all that?
One man, one shilling, one vote. Of course, if I recall, during the time of BBI, that was also an issue that was being frontiered. One. Now, reacting to the ruling party, of course, we are seeing tumbles. Sure. There's a lot. As we speak currently, the deputy president is in Mombasa for holiday, and the president is set to meet cabinet secretaries. Yes, personally, you know. So the man decided he can actually carry this suitcase on his own, board a KQ flight to, it's like he doesn't have friends, It's like he didn't come with friends,
He doesn't have friends.
It's like he doesn't have friends, yeah. You should have,
The friends paid, okay, it was 10 million, then the friends paid 190.
Yeah,
so he doesn't have a friend to pay.
Yeah, exactly, and you can see it's clearly being isolated. But leaving that alone, because to me that is a PR stint. Yeah, of course. He was a bully.
I mean, he's trying to play the humble guy thing, and not using.
And it might work for him because that is what President Ruto did when he was working with Uhuru when he was deputy president. There's a mistake in Kenya that people believe putting yourself down means you're humble.
Sure.
When it's like when you come and park a Range Rover next to a kibanda. And you eat with the people in the kibanda, and then they tell them, "Oh my God, this man is so humble. This man came to come and eat with you here in the kibanda." So does it mean now you're very humble? Humility is not in how you associate with people who are down there. So for one, of course, I know there are tumbles within the ruling party. Unfortunately, in this country, there is so much focus on that, but these people now are forgetting. We need services from them as Kenyans. You see, when you have internal wrangles within yourself, solve them internally. In fact, it begs to question because there's the political parties disputes tribunal. I believe UDA as a party have their own internal mechanisms of solving issues. So it's very unfortunate, number one. When the number one and number two are the ones having offenses. Because then it's affecting us as Kenyans. Because now, it's almost now every day we are being treated to rhetorics and comments. Snippets and sideshows from MPs who are allied to the deputy president and those who are allied to the president. But then the question begs, I wish you were reacting this way in terms of the work you're supposed to be doing for us, Manage. I wish it was a competition of, we have built 15 roads, and each one of them is probably 10 kilometers. And then the other side is complaining, we gave us less money and we have built 6 roads instead of 15 roads
that we had requested.
Exactly. But now you see we are being treated to sideshows. To me, they're basically just sideshows. And it also shows greed. it also shows greed, because what is your mandate? You were elected in 2022 of August. You guys are not even 2 years old in office. You've already started retreating us to all this theatre and drama. We know where to go if you want to drama and theatre. And by the end of the day, while I understand that there might be wrangles, but by the fact that this early, we already being treated to this circus, then it begs the question, how will we get to 2027? You know?
Will we really get there?
We will get there, because we will get there because they are the government.
The constitution
Without
allows
getting
them.
into too many details, they are the government.
And the constitution covers them for that.
It's normally said how you treat someone. Again, the deputy president is reading from the script of the president.
But at least that was after one term in
office.
Yeah, that was the second term when this guy Ruto started campaigning as early as possible. And in fact, the deputy president is using the same strategy, the charge thing that the deputy president by then Ruto used when he was under.
Yeah, endearing himself to the leader. Yeah. But one, I would say, the one man, one shilling, one vote. You cannot say you're going to revenue allocation is going to be based on population. You see, because that is what basically it calls for. You cannot say now we have the numbers, give us more money because we have the numbers. You understand? And that is what basically one man, one shilling, one vote.
So they stand again and say they are trying to do politics away, tribal politics away from this country.
And it goes, in fact, in contrast with his role. Because as a deputy president, you're not a regional leader. You're a national leader. So when you're a national leader and your mandate number one, your work, you are one of your job descriptions is to foster national unity. So you who are supposed to be fostering national unity, you're busy looking at your home area, exactly, and starting to say, oh, we want one man, one shilling, one vote. And then you see again, this looks at your people. How about the other areas? Of course, we know this particular one man, one shilling, one vote. It's just another whole topic on its own. Because one, we have to question what revenue allocation bill, what does it say? Number two, what is the current distribution of revenue in terms of counties? Because you see, when you say one man, one shilling, one vote, within almost, is it 6 or 9 counties that are within the Mount Kenya region? You look at Mount Kiambu, you look at Murang'a, and you look at Meru. They're the ones who have the iris. But areas like Tharaka-Nithi have a very low population, less than 500,000. So when you're saying one man, one shilling, one vote, it might again end up biting them, you understand, because then it will again bring an inbreed of problems. Because now you're saying Kiambu, with your over 2 million voters, you'll get the highest share of the cake. And then now Tharaka-Nithi, you'll have the list. And then again, now it will be another wrangle that will emerge. Now, why are we getting the list? You said, and then you said one man, one shilling, one vote.
So the mountain is literally on fire. Whichever
way they look at it, exactly.
Literally on fire.
But then again, it's very selfish because the way we are currently distributing. I saw Samburu West MP in Isula Lasuda advocating for one man, one shilling, 1 kilometer. And you see, of course, this will make them happy as the ASAL areas, arid, semi-arid areas, because they're very expert. You look at Marsabit. Marsabit is very huge. So if you're going to tell me one man, 1 shilling, 1 kilometer, then again Marsabit will get the lion's share. So now again we are seeing leaders retreating back to their cocoons. And each one now is, and you see the most unfortunate thing is this money, I even doubt if it's going to bring the development that is needed. Because as it is right now, we are not seeing development. There's very poor service delivery with what is being allocated right now. And then you still have the audacity to come back and demand and say, no, it is not enough. The most unfortunate thing about most of these campaigns being frontiered by our leaders is it will not help the Mwananchi. It is to enrich themselves. Look at what is happening in Garissa right now. You see, they are under the EACC radar. Yesterday we were treated to the EACC raiding the residences of county executive members who hold positions within the county. And what is it? They are being accused of a number of things, nepotism among us, other issues. So then again, you look at Garissa and you say, 10 years after devolution, and they're still complaining. Yeah, we're still there. So whether you're telling me one man, 1 shilling, 1 vote, one man, 1 shilling, 1 kilometer, it won't work. You see, because by the end of the day, our leaders, we're not seeing service delivery as Mwananchi. it would have been very easier for you to tell us, let revenue allocation be on the basis of productivity. Because if a home today has 10 children and another homestead has 3 children, but you see this one homestead that has 10 children, only one child is productive, the rest just lays about and they're reliant on this one child. Then the home that has that's 3 children, these 3 children are contributing more. That by the end of the day, even when the chief calls the baraza, the chief is bound to say, oh, you know that homestead that has 3 children, these children have brought me 5,000. But the homestead that has 10 children, they have brought me 4,000, you see. And then you hear the owner of this homestead of 10 children saying, Chief, of the total amount umepata, let it be distributed on the basis of the numbers everyone has in their homestead. I mean, is it fair?
No, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. So, in fact, what should happen right now is revenue allocation should be on the basis of productivity. What you are bringing to the table is what should be given to you. Unless if you say one man, we're just going to count heads and say you are very many. What is your productivity? Somebody with the man with the 10 people in his homestead cannot go and demand and say, you know, I have 10 children, but only one child is at least contributing to the kit. Another one only has 3, but these 3 children are all being active. You understand? The only thing we can say is, which of course I know, the bill, I think, but I'm not too sure if it has since been passed, is the issue of marginalization. Because we know historically there are areas which have been marginalized, especially, again, the very arid, semi-arid areas. But look at like an area, look at Turkana. How much is Turkana getting from the exchequer in terms of county, allocation, evolution? What has changed in Turkana after 10 years? What can you cite in Turkana and say now this is something that has really changed?
Turkana is still Turkana.
Exactly. Turkana is still Turkana.
And they're still singing the same song of Martin.
I am still seeing the conflict that was in North Rift still being happening in the North Rift. We are still seeing women delivering children in bushes. So for me, this particular debate of revenue allocation, it really requires sobriety. And it also requires the government of the day to look at the interests of the people who voted them and not the leaders. But so far, it is just a matter of tribal and looking for regional kingship.
So it's all about selfish ambitions.
It is very, 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 very selfish.
And not maybe we can talk about, you know, there's this instance, some circumstance you can be selfish, but you're already defending your people. But all these people that we call leaders, they are so selfish not for their people, they are selfish for them, like they want everything for themselves and not for their people.
That is very true. In fact, myself, as someone who's very passionate about leadership, I've always said the football method is what I think should apply in the Kenyan revenue allocation structure. Yes. Football in terms of how it is seen. You look at football internationally, not local football. Because, I mean, even our football locally still has problems. So let's talk about.
So everything in Kenya is not working.
No, people are working.
Even the church is not working.
Let me not. No, the church is working.
Every institution in Kenya is not working.
The institutions which are working, but what to do? So I think even when we say football, let's look at it internationally. Let it be that in terms of revenue allocation. Which one? This league that Gor Mahia has won 5 times. You know, like, let's give you an example. We were talking about local. Look at how Gor Mahia has. Is it the 4th or 5th time they'll be winning? Look at what Man City has done. Do you see the level of competition of what happens? Let me cite English Premier League. Because again, other leagues, you know, it's Real Madrid. You know those ones. You have around 8 games remaining. You already know declared exactly. So let's focus on the EPL. When I'm talking about football method in terms of revenue allocation, I wish our revenue allocation was done the same way football is done. Because look at football, you are given money. This money you have, you should be able to buy players, bring them on board. Yes. So I'm looking at a footballer as the coach of any team, as the governor of a county. This coach of any team has players. The same way a governor is given resources. You're not the governor, you're in charge of this county. So the same way a coach is able to organize and say, I'll play this person here, this is my weakness here, I'm going to buy this player. That is the kind of system I wish would be implemented in Kenya. In that, now as a governor, you're given this. But now this allocation is based on productivity that is going to emerge from your county. In football, if you're playing very well and you're working hard, you will win cups. you're going to make sure your performance is being reflected.
And even the players themselves will also
exactly
win.
You look at what players are being paid. Of course, they are entitled to teams like Chelsea, where you with the Rastas you just paid a lot of money, and you run a lot and you make people very, very angry, by the end of the day. But you see, the way they had to pull up their socks and they number 6
on the final stage.
exactly, they did. But you see, why I'm telling you the football method is what? The same way a coach is given the leeway. You have scouts. They can scout for good players. They can scout for what, and they work. And you see, the more hardworking and the cohesive a team is, the way they are better to play and everything. You see, today, if we talk of Manchester City, we might say they've won the league too much, but it's not because Guardiola just sits around. It's because they work. It's because there's hard work, there's discipline, there's dedication, there's no nepotism. I really wish our revenue allocation would be on the basis of how well have you performed as a governor. The match that you brought to the basket is the match we are going to give you. You see, if this is going to be taken as a means of being allocated money, then it means as a governor, I'm going to use the resources that are allocated to me to invest. I'm going to look for investors to come in and infrastructure in terms of roads, in terms of health, in terms of education. You understand? I'm going to push my people to be able to work because the productivity of these people, of what we're taking to the basket, will dictate how much is going to be given back to us as a county. But what we have right now is we are saying, oh, those people are marginalized, so we are giving them more money. But that is where you see governors ever in Nairobi. There are some governors, from what we are told, they were last seen in their counties 6 months ago. They only go there for sittings. And when they go there, they also bully the MCAs, Do you know I have a degree? Do you know? My friend, we know you have your education, but please work for the people.
Let the work show
exactly.
Education.
So we want that football method is actually the best solution to this particular issue. So that if you're not performing, you are relegated. When a team goes to relegation, the kind of monies that you were enjoying at the Premier is your championship. So it means the amount of money you're receiving is low. Why do you think teams struggle to come from championship to come and play in the main league? Because in the main league there's goodies, there's exposure, there's investor confidence, and there's attraction. You see, when this is going to be implemented in terms of our leadership, it means as a governor, I don't have room to employ my people. I want experts to come in. You see, that also pulls for job creation, because it means then I'm going to employ healthcare professionals so that I can have proper hospitals. This means people, the issue of joblessness means today I can comfortably say I'm going to work in Marsabit County and be able to impact the community, because that is being looked at in terms of development and devolution. But what we have right now, there's no accountability. All we are just seeing is, ESCC raided. I am yet to see a successful prosecution and somebody serving a full term of their prison. Because so far, what are we seeing? Our judicial system, the court has cancelled 690 million. The court, just in 2000, you see, the court will even cancel two bob from your debt. You see?
Okay, we cannot finish before talking about it. Do you think there's opposition in this country?
Wow.
Just a 2 minutes answer.
Do I think there's opposition? I think there's opposition, but I think there's opposition. Not I think, there is opposition. But the very opposition was reliant on one man, Baba. Now that Baba is exiting, well, the rest don't know how to oppose, because they were reliant on him to tell them how to oppose. Now that he's leaving, the rest don't know how to oppose.
So
they know the opposition.
So literally, the exit of Baba from the Kenyan politics is leaving a bigger hole.
It is leaving a very big vacuum, a very, very big vacuum. Baba himself loves to say, mti mkubwa ukianguka, wana wa ndege wanayumba yumba. So of course mti haujaanguka, but his exit, of course, because you look at Wiper Party leader for a long time, he's always said, I left this position for Baba. I was supposed to be leader. Now you see, since Baba declared his interest for the AU position, where is Kalonzo Musyoka? Of course, I've seen him speaking a number of once or two, but now the question becomes, can he rally people? Do even the supporters have confidence in him that they had confidence in Baba? So there is an opposition in Kenya, but the opposition don't know if they're supposed to be opposing. They were wholly reliant on one man to tell them which way to go. Now that the guy is leaving, Opposition will be mwananchi.
We'll leave you to that until the next episode as we look into other matters. Thank you so much for coming in. We would like to invite you again some other time whenever we have things to talk about. Asanteni sana. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment. If there's any question you want to ask that question. We will answer you. We'll talk about it. Asanteni.